Nick Versteeg is a documentary producer working on his latest production. He's an award-winning filmmaker focused on telling the stories about chefs and their creations. With his camera, Nick and his team travel the globe exploring the world of gastronomy. Bringing exquisite cooking creations closer to the television audience is Nick Versteeg's passion. Let's join him for another culinary adventure. It is a profession that has all the makings of a classic thriller. Mystery, suspense, intrigue, secrecy, and always risk. The stakes are high. It is more expensive than gold and more rare than a diamond find. It has international acclaim, and yet its coveted ancestry is naturally found only in select, often secretive locations. Yet success is limited to only a few. Why do those who play in this business wager such high stakes? What is the mystique of the truffle that they call le diamant noir? It is a mystery that something so peculiar, growing from life underground, can fuel such passion. How can something so fundamentally odd-looking, such as this truffle, possess such an overpowering yet subtle aroma? It's as if a sense of control is lost for a brief moment. Meet the players. Dorothy is a magnificently trained truffle dog and the ultimate prize of a truffle market. Dorothy can uncover the Earth's most precious truffles. It's her qualified role in life as she comes by the technique superbly and with plenty of training. Serge Griot, her trainer and keeper, is an enviable truffle hunter. Together, he and Dorothy discover some extremely valuable truffles. Chef Christian Etienne is a master chef reputed to be the Pope of truffles. Here in the heart of Provence, Chef Etienne will create for us a treasure of black truffle delicacies. From the array of appetizers to elegant fresh desserts, all featuring fresh black truffles, Chef Etienne puts romance into every dish with his expert combinations. For centuries, truffles were subject to all types of folklore and weaved their way in and out of favor. In the early 1800s, pigs were the original hunting companions to truffle hunters. With a great deal of training, they foraged for truffles that were about 18 inches below the surface. Once discovered, the pigs went wild. Hunters were pressed to recover the truffles before the pigs consumed them. In the truffle business, location is a coveted secret. Pigs were often too obvious being transported to the site. Over time, dogs became the valued hunting companion. Their presence was less obvious, and they were less inclined to eat their findings. Truffles begin from spores that grow and are harvested from below the surface under various trees such as oak, hazelnut, or pine. Given the right weather conditions, the spores of the truffles will adhere to the tiny root-like hairs and begin to germinate. In truffle farms today, roots are treated with a mycelium, and it takes 7 to 10 years for truffles to develop. In this example, tiny filaments are beginning to form on very young seedlings. Prosperous truffle fields show large rings developing around trees called brûlées. Brûlée is a term given to areas where the earth appears scorched and where truffles germinate and grow. Serge and his dog Dorothy are in training. Serge's grandfather started the farm, and Serge is carrying on the tradition. However, Where once his grandfather relied on trained pigs, Serge has switched to dogs to help him find truffles. Truffles command more money per ounce than gold, so the investment in a good truffle hunting dog is enormous. A trained truffle hunting dog can cost up to $5,000 or more, with no guarantees. Serge relies on his own experience and works with Dorothy, providing a lengthy, extensive training period. He buries a small truffle along with a piece of cheese and sends his dog on missions to uncover the hidden stash. Each discovery brings a reward to Dorothy, and before long, she is finding bigger and better truffles with the same passion. Truffles are purchased fresh daily in Provence, when harvest is at its peak. With its pebbly texture, a good scraping and brushing is needed to remove all the excess dirt from the skin. For the purchased weight of a freshly harvested truffle, that's expensive dirt. As a truffle begins to develop in the early part of the season, a slight marbling occurs. As it matures, the truffle becomes darker and fuller in aroma. This aging contributes to the size and value of each individual truffle. Chef Etienne is nicknamed the Pope of Truffles. His reputation precedes him, as he has built on an international reputation on the finest truffle dishes from his restaurant in Avignon, France. The first appetizer is Coquille Saint-Jacques scallop mousse, a classic French dish. The flavor is heightened with a fresh truffle sauce and garnish. Chef Etienne spares nothing when it comes to feasting on the world's famous delicacy.
Le corail de Saint-Jacques avec un beurre mousseux aux truffes et un petit jet mikado de truffes.
A true specialty of the house is the chef's famous pumpkin soup.
Bien une spécialité de Provence.
Cooked and pureed, the vegetable is made even richer with cream and fresh seasonings. The added surprise touch is julienne slices of truffles in the base of each serving cup. Pumpkin soup is added over the top and then drizzled with a trickle of sweetened oil. It's curious how something steadily produced for centuries from below the soil has become such a coveted culinary delicacy. Only 100 years ago, about 2,000 tons of truffles were harvested in France. But France isn't the only truffle harvester in the market. Plantations can also be found in northern and middle Italy and parts of Spain, with each country boasting the pick of the crop. Other countries are now also joining the action with a little research and development. China, New Zealand, and Oregon, USA are all farming truffle spores in similar conditions to those in Europe. There are several different truffles sold in Europe. At the top of the list is the black winter truffle, also known as the Rabas truffle. The black summer truffle is harvested to its name in the summer. The white truffle from Piedmont, Italy, is pale yellow skin with creamy white veined flesh. It's been known to command up to $3,600 a kilo. Following the jewels in the crown are the Brumal truffle, with a reddish skin and gray-like flesh, and the Burgundy truffle, with a chocolate flesh. As the blustery season grips Provence, the truffle hunter Serge Agriot takes to the forest with Dorothy. With the season traditionally short, early December to late March, daily harvesting of truffles is a matter of survival for the entire year. Fresh truffles should be refrigerated and consumed fresh within 3 days. For longer storage, Truffles should be carefully wrapped in thick plastic and frozen. It's late fall in Provence. The first of the black winter truffles are hitting the market. Bruno d'Angelis, a student of chef Christian Etienne, has been bitten with the passion to follow the truffle pope's path and is preparing a dish with the first of the season's fresh truffles. Chef d'Angelis is preparing a cerviche using fresh scallops and a mélange of crisp winter vegetables. He combines fresh diced scallops in a large bowl with some fresh chopped green onions, coriander leaves, freshly ground pepper, and lemon juice. Using a special slicer, the chef thinly slices black winter truffles, reserving a few whole slices for garnish. Finally chopping the remaining truffles into julienne strips, he adds them to the bowl, along with a generous spoonful of sour cream and a drizzle of lemon olive oil. After packing it into a mold, he loosely tops it with julienne zucchini, carrots, and celery root. Basil leaves are highly coated with lemon oil and arranged around the cerviche. With a quick garnish of remaining truffle slices, sweet potato, beet crisps, and fresh coriander, the dish is near completion. A light dolloping of spinach puree around the edge of the plate, and the entire appetizer is a picture. It's early morning. In the center of a small village north of Carpentras, business is starting to heat up. Pedestrians casually stroll through town, many carrying a nondescript bag. Several gather at a local brasserie, as if waiting for fresh brewed café to be served. They linger on, and with furtive looks, the secrecy deepens. There are 4 buyers that we spotted hovering around the cafe. Some linger around cars. Gradually, all begin to assemble in small groups of 2 or 4, as if on cue. Heads nod with attentive caution. What are the stakes? Who is negotiating with whom? Across the street, a man quietly opens his trunk as he is approached by another. A netted bag of truffles is carefully weighed, and the bartering begins.
3003, 3 x 3900, 3000.
Vast sums of francs exchange hands, and a deal has been placed. As we attempt to zoom in, a member of the team attempts to obstruct our view. A slight move to get a closer look, and the negotiating crew is intentionally blocked once again. Enormous sums of money exchanged hands in this small town square this morning. And yet in each case, not a bill of sale was to be seen, nor inspection to validate the authenticity of each purchase. Serge Agrillo is dealing directly with the buyer. He knows success. Inheriting the business from his grandfather, he has harvested many truffles and all sizes. His grandfather's most successful find was a truffle 1 kilo in weight and valued at $2,500. Finds such as this are the fuel to keep the passion. Chef Etienne's daily purchases come from carefully selected farmers. His focus is the best quality at a reasonable price for what his needs are. He prepares a light fish dish for us, using truffles as the garnish. With a light batter coating on one side of red mullet fish fillets, he gently browns the fish. And serves it on a platter with a side serving of fried artichoke hearts with sliced carrots. In the remaining pan, containing the fish juices, fresh winter truffles are gently warmed and served over the top of the mullet. A drizzle of spinach puree and a side dish of concassé of chopped diced red and yellow pepper with diced seeded tomato completes the delicious collaboration of flavors.
Donc c'est un rouget grillé avec une varigoule d'artichaut montée au jus de truffe.
Small rounds of camembert are studded with slices of fresh truffles and refrigerated for a couple of days for flavors to blend. The camembert takes on a delicious hint of fresh, earthy truffles. Perfect, served with watercress salad. Another classic dish at Chef Etienne's is seared pigeon breast served with a delicious barley risotto. Little juicy morsels are pan-fried to perfection. Small steamed molds of barley risotto grace the plate with creative potato curls. The delicious presentation is topped with generous shavings of fresh truffles and garnished with a baked and cooled stick of Parmesan cheese.
Kilo parmesan, cheese cuit.
There are small companies throughout Europe and beyond that buy truffles and develop them in any number of truffle specialties. The beauty of truffles is that although they are served fresh from the fields here in Provence during truffle season, they can be equally enjoyed year-round in all parts of the world. There are an unparalleled list of products made using truffles. For truffle honey, truffle mayonnaise, truffle mustard, and truffle butter. Truffles are also formed into an essence to flavor vinegar and oil and various dressings, as well as lacing smoked salmon and foie gras. The flavor enhancements are plentiful, and the flavor of the delicate yet aromatic musky truffle has found its way into many different products, producing incredible results. Chef Etienne completes his decadent truffle menu with quince pastry sponge cakes and fresh-made pine nut ice cream laced with finely minced fresh truffles. He garnishes the presentation with generous gratings of course, fresh truffles.
Pain d'épices au coin avec une glace.
While the Périgord region and Provence are major truffle producers, France also has a few smaller cousins in the regional mix. The Loire Valley is one fine example where the modest bounty of truffles can be found. Henri and Françoise Galandeau organize truffle tours for visiting tourists at their farm with their well-trained dog Zabou. The tourists follow Henri to the forest. Zabou, the valued truffle hunting dog, has been in the business for a long time. Unlike many other truffle dogs, Zabou identifies a truffle under the soil with such a calm disposition. He casually points to a truffle find with a paw, as if suggesting, "Here it is." He then moves on to another spot, as if to suggest to his master that digging up the find and dirty paws are no longer required. Back at the house, Françoise prepares an array of delicious recipes using their harvested truffles. Delicious and traditional French meals are prepared, such as foie gras laced with truffles, potatoes with lots of truffles, and slivered truffles on fresh-picked garden greens all add up to a memorable truffle experience for tourists out visiting for a day in the country. In Massigny-Marmande, early morning vendors and customers gather in a small community centre to buy and sell fresh truffles. Surprisingly, there is no secrecy exchanged. Local citizens freely and expertly negotiate with the farmers. Well-known chef Jean Bardet, who owns a 3-star Relais et Chateau in Tours, is buying truffles for the evening dinner in his restaurant. Chefs like Jean Bardet, Christian Etienne, Bruno d'Angelis, and many others will use truffles for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The chefs are taking ingredients which are in season and, where possible, add truffles to traditional French dishes. Each truffle creation is entirely up to the chef's imagination, and for the guests, never a disappointment. Drive over the hills of Provence in crisp fall weather, with the occasional stop at a brasserie for café au lait, and you'll immediately feel as though you belong. Then test your palate on a harvest meal accented with truffles, and you'll know you belong. Truffles do that to a soul. That's the mystique uncovered. A dish topped with truffles is a gift from Dorothy.
Ah, oh, ça c'est beau, hein?